Triple H has taken over control of WWE's creative and the talent management, positions that were previously controlled by his father-in-law, Vince McMahon, Bruce Prichard, and John Laurinaitis. Now McMahon has retired and John Laurinaitis has been released thanks to sexual misconduct allegations. Prichard has taken a step back, no longer as powerful, and definitely not as much in favor now that Triple H and Stephanie McMahon are the ones in power alongside Nick Khan. Given his position, Triple H has made it a habit to undo previously damaging changes. He has been hiring back stars, which has been a staple of his creative reign. This is Wrestling Up, and here are 11 more wrestlers Triple H could bring back to WWE, and the 11 that he should never bring back. Before we get into the rest of the video, make sure you subscribe to Wrestling Hub and turn on all notifications to stay up to date with everything in the world of pro wrestling. Also, don't forget to follow us on Instagram at Wrestling Hub Official, and also follow us on Twitter at Wrestling_Hub. CM Punk seems to cause trouble wherever he goes. In WWE, he created an apparent revolution, putting attention on the indie scene. It changed how WWE approached the business. It might be why Daniel Bryan main evented WrestleMania. However, Punk left wrestling and created waves through his revelation of what went on behind the scenes in WWE. He stayed away from wrestling for 8 years before his return in 2021. The moment he debuted in AEW was a huge one. Punk would become world champion inside a year of being there, but internal strife seemed to surface. Much like he'd done in WWE, he created conflict with the founders of AEW, the EVPs, the Elite. A locker room brawl following the all-out post-event press conference has seen all parties suspended indefinitely, pending an investigation. The last thing that Triple H needs in WWE are issues backstage. He would be doing himself and WWE a favor by not hiring Punk. When Alberto Del Rio was in WWE, he was quickly successful but never really won over the hearts and minds of the wrestlers in the company. He was released and came back to WWE once. However, he would not last and was released after being suspended. At the time, he was in a relationship with Paige. Things went badly wrong there even after they had been engaged. Both wrestlers seemed to spiral, and after his release, Del Rio would spew incoherent hate at WWE. The couple split, but Del Rio's spiral was not over. He was arrested numerous times, with the most notorious one being for the alleged kidnapping and assault of his then partner, as well as abusing her and threatening to dump her child in the middle of the road if she didn't listen to him. These charges were dropped against him due to the victim refusing to press them, but the mentality of the fans have not changed since then. Unfortunately for Del Rio, his stock has plummeted, so much so that it's unlikely he will ever be hired by WWE again. Mickie James and Triple H are probably on decent terms, but the manner of her last exit from the company was not the best. She was released and then sent her belongings in a trash bag. While Stephanie McMahon would apologize, James spoke up about this being common practice in the company. Since leaving, she's found a good spot for herself in Impact Wrestling. She appeared in the 2022 Royal Rumble, but she did it more to represent Impact than for WWE. She has also opened up about nearly being done with wrestling altogether, and with that in mind, perhaps it's best for Triple H to not bring her back. If she does retire, she has earned a WWE Hall of Fame induction though. Sting still wrestles regularly in AEW at 63 years old. Not only that, he's thrown caution to the wind several times by not only performing at the highest level, but destroying his body to do it. Partnered with Darby Allin, he has been trying to keep up with the Daredevil by doing dives off balconies. The star was injured when he wrestled in WWE, but in AEW he has shown no sign of it. While this is good news, the last thing WWE needs is to bring in Sting if he'll wrestle. The legend is clearly intent on not wrapping up his career anytime soon, and this might mean that he could suffer another injury. While hopefully that does not happen, not hiring him would be the smart play for Triple H. Yet another legend in a similar position to Sting, Kurt Angle's in-ring career is behind him. Having wrestled Baron Corbin in a match that is best forgotten, the bout was his retirement one. While Angle has stayed retired, wrestling John Cena might be the only match that he will come back for. However, Triple H would be better off not bringing him back. Aside from his injuries affecting his movement, a couple of weeks ago, Angle confessed to having memory issues. Mike and Maria Kanellis burned out quickly in WWE. Following their main roster debut, Mike opened up about his addiction issues and went to rehab. At the same time, Maria got pregnant. Just when they got another push, Maria was pregnant again. During this time, not once did they have a consistent run, be it due to lack of creative ideas from WWE or personal matters. Since leaving, they've been overtly critical of the company, and as such, it might be best if Triple H does not bring them back. Unlike other stars released, Nia Jax had a long run with the company, though she had a reputation of being unsafe in the ring, like missing Charlotte and allowing her to almost sustain a career-ending injury, or legitimately throwing Kairi Sane into the steps and cracking her open. When she was let go, it was a surprise, but fans were definitely not mourning that loss. WWE has already hired stars who can more than fill Jax's shoes. NXT stars Nikita Lyons and Lash Legend, for example. Given her attitude and her negative presence, it would be best if Jax stayed out of WWE. Lio Rush announced he was cleared to wrestle and is set for an indie show. This was his third or fourth return from retirement, something fans are tired of. While he was a hot prospect, he probably is better off trying his luck on the indies. During their time in WWE, MIRO and LANA went from having the hottest run to the coldest. The inconsistent booking by WWE ensured they never hit their potential. Even when MIRO had the fans behind him, WWE refused to pull the trigger. Now, while he has not been booked well in AEW, it's clear that both he and LANA have moved on. MIRO has found a new love in life, his life of gaming. Meanwhile, LANA has been acting as a model and also clearly makes a lot from streaming and various other non-wrestling roles. Neither appear to have the same love for wrestling that they once did, and it might be best for everyone if Triple H didn't bring the couple back. Bryan Danielson may be the best in the world. While he's shown that in AEW, the promotion in 2022 is far removed from the white-hot company that debuted in 2019. At the time, the hardcore fans kept coming back for more. Somewhere along the line, hiring more ex-WWE stars, AEW has seemingly lost their way. Every time the company hired another WWE star, someone else was pushed to the back. Danielson at the moment is wasting his talent in AEW. While there are some dream matches, once those are done, it might be best for both him and WWE if he were to return. Triple H will also be looking to bring him back, as even if he went to AEW, their relationship was never foul. Andrade is in the middle of a Twitter feud with Sammy Guevara. Accused of working stiff and having a job only because of being Ric Flair's son-in-law, he is no longer as welcome in the company. He was set for a loser leaves AEW match, and that bout was recently cancelled. On the other side, he is a valued star by Triple H and would be booked strongly in WWE. He would also be working with his wife, Charlotte Flair. Finally, WWE need a strong athletic talent in the form of Andrade. There has been no real torchbearer for Mexico in WWE other than Rey Mysterio. Dominic is too young, and Santos Escobar has some way to go. Andrade would fill in perfectly. Has the WWE Women's Tag Team division ever not been in shambles? While there's been issues, mainly a lack of women's tag teams, Triple H could help build the division by bringing back Billie Kay and Peyton Royce, the Iconics, who are currently signed to Impact Wrestling. WWE's tag team division is not in as bad of a spot as it was a couple of months ago. The New Day, Street Profits, the Usos, Los Lotharios, Alpha Academy, Hit Row, among others, have made a place for themselves on the roster. However, having a legitimate tag team like FTR back in WWE would be one of the best things that wrestling fans could ask for. Triple H and FTR have a really good relationship, as Hunter helped them build up in NXT and oversaw some of the matches that made them household names. Without him, they would not be where they are. They have done a lot in AEW, and now if they choose to come back to WWE under Triple H, they might also be the ones that finally defeat the Usos in the long run. The matches they could have would be worth it alone. Since leaving WWE, Matt Cardona has proved what the company missed with him in the 11 years he was with them. He has over the past year become a hardcore legend through his matches in GCW. Clearly unafraid to bleed, he has taken things to the extreme and showed that he can win over any audience, a trait of his that WWE underutilized. If Triple H can convince him to come back, he would be an entirely reinvented star, and one that could conceivably be at a higher position on the card than where he ever was in his previous run. While Chris Jericho was one of the biggest stars to first join AEW and give the company the legs to stand on that it has today, he never shut the door on a WWE return. While it's less likely he comes back now that Vince McMahon is retired, given the strife in AEW and all the issues there, it's still possible that he leaves in the future and returns to WWE after Triple H convinces him. While he's not in his prime, he is still in some of the best shape, and as such can hold his ground with anyone on the WWE roster. Given his penchant for reinventing himself, it might also be fun to see him back one last time at WWE, and adding people to his list. Jon Moxley and Renee Young might be wrestling's biggest sweethearts. Almost all fans love Moxley and the brash energy that he brings to the AEW locker room. As the rightful leader in AEW at the moment, he is the top of the food chain. It would take something big for him to even consider returning to WWE, a place where he had bad experience after bad experience. However, if anyone can make Moxley consider returning to WWE, it's Triple H. He is on good terms with the star, and bringing him back would also be high on his priority list. A reunion with Roman Reigns and Seth Rollins down the line would also serve as quite a good reason for Moxley to return. Renee Young is also away from wrestling, with the exception of her podcast, since leaving WWE. If Moxley does come back, WWE would do a good job to hire her, as very few people in their company are as good behind a desk interviewing someone as she is. Ultimately, bringing back these two won't be easy, but if it can be done, Triple H is the man to do it. Liv Morgan is the only remaining member of the Riot Squad in WWE, and currently she is doing well for herself. Sarah Logan was one of her best friends, and bringing her back to team with her in the future or be part of a faction formed by her might be an excellent idea. Logan was released from WWE after she requested it and became pregnant, and has seemingly put wrestling behind her. However, whenever she's been asked, she's refused to shut the gate on a possible return. At the moment, she might be one of the best people that Triple H could bring back. And these were 11 stars that Triple H could bring back and 11 that he shouldn't. I hope you're all having a great day. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you later.